Welcome to Nutrition by Jules. I'm Jules, bringing you all things wellness for your pregnancy and postpartum journey. We're here today for a mini move Monday, a short 10 to 15 minute low impact, low intensity workout, great for pregnancy, postpartum of any sorts, as well as just a warm up to get your body moving throughout the day anytime you want to, no matter who you are. If you'd like a list of the exercises we're going to do today, you can see them in the description, as well as links to any equipment that we're going to be using today. We are using a kettlebell and a band. That's it. Or any weight. If you have a dumbbell, that's fine too. If you have a heavy water bottle, that works too. The resistance band, probably just a good thing to have in general. All right, so we're going to start out with just some mobility. This is a shoulder dip. So I'm in a tabletop position. My wrists under my shoulders, my knees under my hips. I'm going to straighten one arm out straight ahead of me, and as I do so, I'm going to make sure that my lower back, or my back in general, does not arch, so that I'm keeping a nice solid core posture. My palm is down, and as I rotate my shoulder out to the side, I'm going to rotate my palm up until it reaches my back, and I'm going to put it up as far as I can on my back, depending on, again, my mobility here. I'm going to raise slightly up my shoulder, and then I'm going to dip that shoulder down. Raise it up and dip it down. Come back to neutral, hand goes back around, and again, around and back as high as I can get it. Little dip of the shoulder, maybe a couple dips of the shoulder. Bring that hand back around, palm goes face down to the front. If you need a rest in between these, feel free. It's a lot of work on the shoulder. Then again, raise up, palm starts down, nice straight spine, flip my hand over, all the way up my back as far as I can, dip that shoulder down, and return back. So I'm doing that about 4 times. I'm going to switch to the other side and show you from the front. Again, really making sure that my spine doesn't move. This is all just the shoulders. Palm up as it rotates. Palm down as I rotate, palm up as far as I can go up my back. Dip down, slight up, dip down, slight up, neutral, palm goes from up to down as I rotate back around. Okay, I won't talk this time. I'll just show you. Oh, yes. Come on, shoulder. Get some good mobility here for me. And back around. Yeah. So I think I did 3 or 4 on each side with a couple of dips. Do as many of those as you want. If you want to pause up the video and do a few more. And then I'm going to stay in my all fours position here. And I'm going to do some double hip circles. So my hips just drop down towards my heels. And I'm going to do as big of a circle with those hips as I feel comfortable doing. If you need to go a little bit wider with your knees here, or even a little bit farther out with your hands, whatever you need to do, or wider with your hands to feel stable or to get full range of motion. We'll go 4 or 5 in both directions. Yes, and if this bugs your knees, by all means, put cushions under them or a nice soft mat or a towel or something you need for your knees. All right, stepping jacks. So if you're keeping this low impact, you're going to do the same motion as a jumping jack, but you're just going to be stepping to the side. So my arm's the same as a jumping jack, and if you're able to pick up the pace, so we do want this to be a bit of a cardio, for 20 total stepping jacks. I'm not counting, but I'm going to do a few more. Yes. If you want to do more than 20, or if 20 seems like a lot, or if you need to slow this down, whatever you need to do there, we're just going to get the heart rate going a little bit more with the stepping jacks. So now we're moving on to our main attraction. We're going to start with some bent over rows. So either dumbbell or a kettlebell, light or heavy depending on where you're at in your body journey. We're going to do a little split stance. So one foot is staggered behind the other, hinge at my hips, nice flat back. I can put a hand or a forearm on my knee. My shoulders roll back and down, so I'm not getting any strain in my neck. And I'm pulling my weight from that front foot up to my back pocket. It's right here. We're gonna do anywhere from the 6 to 10 range, depending on how heavy your great weight is. Nice high elbow. I'll do one more. And it's okay if you get a little bounce in it. That's not a big deal. Just avoid ever rounding or doing a general arch. So my neck stays neutral and my back stays flat. Other side, so I can set up next to my weight to make this easier. Little stagger, hip hinge, flat back, hand on the knee, and roll to my pocket. Not up here, I don't want to be bicep curling. I want this to be for the back, not the bicep necessarily. So elbow high and to the back. I think that was 10. All right, so there's my single arm bent over row. Now using the same weight, my breath just caught up with me. We're gonna do a suitcase carry. So suitcase carry, just like you're carrying a suitcase. We're holding the weight in one hand. You wanna think about good posture here. So my head is back, sector of my shoulders, the shoulders are my ribs, the ribs are my hips. Solid posture, keeping this nice solid core the whole time. So this is for posture and core. I'm resisting this weight to do this on my side, right? So that weight is forcing my core to turn on to keep that good posture. And then I'm just gonna march in place. We're gonna do 20 marches on each side. I'm trying really hard to count. And as I'm marching, I'm doing my best to not let my hips move. So ideally, my hips are staying directly in place while I'm picking those legs up. I'm gonna switch my weight to the other side, roll my shoulders back, check in with my posture. Excellent. And again, try not to let those hips move. The heavier your weight is, the harder that's gonna feel. "17, 18, 19, 20, I believe." Excellent. Then some overhead pulls. So I got two different band varieties here, a lighter one and a thicker one. Always good to have a variety depending on what move you're doing. But you're gonna hold this band nice and wide over your head. Make sure you can have enough shoulder mobility where it's behind you, or you can push it behind you without hurting your shoulders. And you're gonna pull that band back to your lats. So not on your neck, but right back to the back. I'm not pulling back here or here. So make sure you're being really mindful of your arms coming straight up and down on the sides. And I'm pulling up and back. As you can imagine, I'm really focusing on that core and that posture again. So I'm not flailing my ribs or tucking. I'm trying to stay nice and stacked as I pull. So my abs are engaged, my glutes are engaged because I'm just standing here nice and solid. So we're gonna do 8 to 10 overhead pulls. If you'd like to challenge this a little bit more, you can always do this single-legged. So you're gonna get that little balance, and it's gonna be a little more challenge on your core, and you can split that up or do 8 to 10 on each leg, depending on where you're at and how you're feeling. All right, so there's my overhead pull with band. Then we're gonna get back on the ground. Actually, I haven't been there for a while, but we're going on the ground to do some knee presses. So I'm lying on my back. I'm bringing my knees up, if possible. If you need to do this with your legs down, you could do that, or you can also do it single-legged if you need to do that. So if there's restrictions for you raising your knees up, got options. All right, I'm gonna show you both knees up. I'm gonna pick my head up, tuck my chin, my head and my shoulders, and tuck my chin and press against my legs as I exhale. So I'm gonna go and then relax, and then up again. Tucking my chin. Really think about engaging all the core and keeping it hollow, meaning I'm engaging the core so that it turns on almost like it's gonna suck in. All right, so you should feel that. You shouldn't feel any loose or doming going on here. If you do a single leg, or you could also do it with your legs down. All right, back up. Press, release. Back up. Inhale, exhale. Press. And you can see I'm pressing like across my legs. You can do it static and still, especially if you have no pants on. If you have bare skin, it's hard to kind of glide unless you're really sweaty. So if you're pressing in one place, that's fine. But you do want enough pressure to where you actually feel those abs engage. I'll do one more. Excellent. All right, so that's round one. We're gonna do one more round together. And if you would like to do one more round on your own, feel free to redo the video. Yay. Bent over rows. Grab my weight of choice. If this was a dumbbell or kettlebell, or dumbbell or like a heavy water bottle, I would suggest just having it in your hand when you set up, so you don't have to bend all the way down to the ground. What's nice about the kettlebell is I can grab the handle, right? Otherwise, I'll have the weight in my hand like this. And then I'd set up and drop down, and I can pull. The full range of motion, you should have your arm all the way down, like fully extended before you do each pull. Again, nice flat back, a nice hinge, pulling to my hip, which I just banged, just to emphasize the point. And also an option, I don't have a bench here. Actually, I could totally show you on here. If you have something nice and steady and stable, you can put a hand on here. So if you don't want to rest it, this is uncomfortable on your thigh, you could always do your stagger, put your hand on something solid, and then do your row. Sorry I didn't share that on the first round. But this is excellent option as well. It's going to help keep your back nice and flat, which is always a bonus. Awesome. Hey, a googly eye. Clearly I have a kid. Okay. And here's my suitcase carry march. So I'm going to show you this one from the side so you can see my good stacking. Everything's turned on. March. Try to keep my hips steady, looking great straight ahead. Nice loose in the shoulders. 17, 18, 19, 20. And then I can switch sides. Shoulders back and down. 1, 2, 3, 6. The hips want to sway when I start to do more. Try to keep them in place. Excellent. Then my overhead pulls. You can always also, if you don't have a variety of bands in terms of like making this easier or harder, you can always hold in closer, right? Perfect. So not here, not here, right here, pull. And here's my balance option. I'm making faces because turning and then balancing is tricky. And yeah, 8 to 10 on both legs, or 8 to 10 on each leg. And then knee presses. So here's my options, both knees up to press. Exhale. Or if I need to, I can do one at a time. Or leaving them on the ground. Do 2 more. Last one. Ah, yeah. Now would be a great time to stretch it out if you're all done, or do a 3rd round. And then while you're stretching, you can subscribe and leave me some comments and let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.